It's time to stop with the victim mentality and actually take control. Because all of us have been making a mistake.
Explain why blacks won't get reparations.
We can't get reparations because we haven't been officially classified as a nationality. African American is not a nationality. Black is not a nationality.
Reparations can only be paid from nation to nation. And back of me are all the cases when the United States gave people reparations.
You ever wonder why they spend so much time changing our racial identity? First, it was this, which means slave. Then it was colored. You see how we were referred to by whatever name is chosen by the government? In TikTok, this video is not real, scripted, and for entertainment purposes. And even classified Native Americans were referred to as colored. But they got that changed real quick. That's why they can say stuff like this.
Don't come out here again. In fact, don't ever come on the Indian collective property unannounced again.
In law, color means a lot of people getting mad, sitting around seeing all of these other nations getting their reparation. We as black or African American people are not respected by the law.
The police run your tags. What do they say? Oh, black female or black male. As soon as they put that over the radio, they're automatically giving authority to kill you because you're operating under a coded system. A United States 14th Amendment citizen is a corporate citizen that is owned by the United States government.
Why is it that certain people are called by their nationalities, like Japanese, Russians, Germans, Nigerians? Lupita even said, I wasn't aware that I belonged to a race called black until I came to America. They only do this here. And this term, African American, who does that apply to?
African American. And this is what they name you. Because I know a white guy who grew up in South Africa, and he now lives in America. He is an African American, and more
I want to talk about being African American legally. There are Europeans in this country that are legally labeled African American. We are legally labeled African American also. If you've ever watched The Old Guard or Snow White and the Huntsman, this character, her name is Charlize Theron. She was born in South Africa, so when she comes here, she is labeled South African American actress. But people like to say to be African American, you have to be a descendant from a slave. Not according to the law. An African American is a black American of African descent. Let's look up what descent means. Background of a person in terms of family or nationality. Elon Musk was born in South Africa. Legally, he is referred to as an African American, plus his Canadian citizenship. In law, color means fake, artificial, does not exist. So why are we identifying with something that does not have legal status? Why are they still legally calling us black when it does not mean anything because that is a color? Y'all see this account warning I've been having on my page for about 3 months? We gonna have to continue this topic on YouTube so I can keep posting for y'all. Now that you over here on YouTube, let's get into it deeper. I even made a mistake. We all may look the same from different places all around the world. When them colonizers came on their boats, they did not care what tribe you were from, what land. They looked at all of us like we were just black. I was operating in a mind state of affliction that would happen to my ancestors and push it in on other people. Yes, I do believe we all need to come together, but legally, we can't take someone's nation away from them. And there are people who look like us who do disrespect us because of our ancestors.
That's slave food. I don't do that, babe. I'm not a slave. I was never a slave. I don't know how slaves cook. I was never a slave. I know where my grandfather came from, my great-grandfather, and where all their ass came from.
They don't like to be in the same category as us because we're not recognized legally. They don't want no parts of that. And even this whole argument about who are the real Egyptians, who built the pyramid.
This is what the ancient Egyptians would actually look like. Dark-skinned, olive-toned, like myself.
Now, even though I do not agree with him, legally, they are labeled Egyptian because they were born in Egypt. And I'm stretching that as far as I can, legally. Now, there are racist cops who would categorize us as black, even though we're from different parts of the world, because we all look the same. Just like your job is a corporation, you get an employee ID number to recognize you. The United States is a corporation, and you will get your employee ID number. There are 2 forms of the United States, and they label us differently as a people. They got all of these play on words like public policy, public law, commercial law, common law. Do you honestly think that they don't have a play on words with these labels that they are giving us? I be wondering how there are people who don't even have to pay taxes. Many think that income taxes and some laws do not affect people, that they are outside of the control and the jurisdiction of the United States corporation. But we are caught by color because these words are statuses. White is a status, not a complexion. Black is a status, not a complexion. This is all just a color caste system. Colors are not identities. Black is not a geographical landmass. You can't say that we're not called black, we're called African American. 1986, Congress passed a public law for Black History Month. You have black entertainment television. You have governmental officials and robotic presidents who are calling us black.
But if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Now I know from us, we like to take the power back from things that try to oppress us, like creating the Black Panther Party, which was much needed. Just like the N-word was taken as an offensive and abusive term, which our people now use, even though it does mean slave. We say it to each other like it's regular. I'ma say do y'all own research and start looking into the Noah-Webster Dictionary of 1828. Look at the Black's Law Dictionary of 1856. They made these at the time as we were slaves where we couldn't read, so they aired all of their secrets out. For some reason, I keep thinking about Atlantis. Don't watch this video if you're not open-minded. A lot of people are saying we are in Atlantis, and this is the old world.
The civilization of Atlantis existed for thousands of years, and it was the entire world. It was not just an island out there.
Which makes sense because there are pyramids that are all over the world that align with the same star system. Giza, Mexico, China. I'm a strong believer that there are portals around this planet, and they knew how to use them to build these pyramids. That's why so many around the world. I'm pretty sure y'all saw this video.
Don't let nobody go through it. Did you know that you could walk through the Grand Canyon, and if you keep walking through the Grand Canyon, your ass gonna end up in Africa, nigga?
There are Egyptian relics, hieroglyphics, artifacts, mummies in America because they were here. You ever wonder why it was so important for them to suppress this information for a century? Pyramids in Antarctica, Illinois. There are places in America that is restricted. The Hoover Dam, and we know the Grand Canyon and plenty of more spaces. The largest pyramid to ever be built is in America. The Atlanteans understood the energy of this planet and they knew how to manipulate it. Notice that there are weird levels of energy, like the Bermuda Triangle that makes things disappear. I told you they restrict off these high-level energetic places. I find it funny that one of the Egyptian gods has the head of an animal that's native to America, the ibis. Rashad Jamal also goes to say that the 33rd parallel was the capital of Atlantis, which is in Atlanta, Georgia.
It's called Atlanta. And it's on the 33rd parallel, which is one of the most powerful veins on the planet because this was the capital of our realm, Atlantis. Our capital stretched, nigga. It was all of Georgia, all of Florida.
Can't stretch this enough, do your own research. I feel, though, that America is the old world. Now watch this. It is said that Atlantis went down in a flood. In America, it shows water erosion in the Grand Canyon.
We're underneath the water. That means that this place was underneath water. The Great Flood. The rocks are red. When the water oxygenates the sediments, they turn red.
Now I need you to watch this.
Whenever Atlantis went down, a lot of them, some of them went to Egypt, the one survivors, and some of them went to Egypt.
I'm sorry, I just need to hear it one more time.
Some of them went to Egypt, the one survivors, and to other places.
Y'all do what y'all want. I'm just connecting my thoughts. Notice how she says they went to Egypt and they had powers to build such monuments.
Stone. This is where the pyramids and everything were developed later were by the survivors of Atlantis who still carried the knowledge of how this was done.
Put two and two together yourself and y'all have a good day. Just so you know, these blinds been closed. Stay dangerous, y'all. Now that you over here on YouTube, I find it very funny that there are people that are claiming they're the descendants of ancient Egyptians.
This is what the ancient Egyptians would actually look like. Dark-skinned, olive-toned, like myself.
So hey, if the Atlanteans were the descendants of the pyramid builders, y'all stay dangerous.